Members of the council, I will change the order a little bit as we normally do for courtesy. At this point, we would go to some of our resolutions. We go to page 6 in the agenda, items number 1 and 2. And I would ask if the councilwoman wants to introduce the resolution number 1. When you get organized there and you get it.
This is a resolution to honor our sister city, Villafranca du Camp, recognizing Grove Avenue as Villafranca du Camp Avenue. As many may remember or recall, last year, the council approved us uniting with Villafranca du Camp in the island of St. Michael Azores as a sister city. That's our second sister city in the Azores. The first being Ribeira Grande, with many of our residents in the city being descendants and immigrants from Villafranca du Camp, building on our relationship with that town and city is really important, not only to our residents, but also to our economic growth in our city, state, and in our nation. We had the opportunity, myself and the mayor, of going out with the president of the Villafranca du Camp, Amicus de Villafranca du Camp of East Providence, going to the Azores. I just happened to be there on vacation, as I do annually, to see my family, and was joined the mayor to have a placard dedicated to the city of East Providence. So in their main rotary, there is a beautiful placard that honors the city of East Providence, made with homemade tiles by that village. So I'm just going to read the proclamation, the resolution into the record. Whereas the Portuguese American community within the city of East Providence has maintained a close relationship with the country of Portugal, and whereas many Portuguese immigrants within the city of East Providence originated from the village of Villafranca do Campo, located in the São Miguel Islands of the Azores off the coast of Portugal, and whereas a significant amount of the East Providence residents from Villafranca, those immigrants come to the city from everything in East Providence and has to offer, and have brought with them their traditions, cultures, and many of their work ethics. And whereas Villafranca offers its thousands of tourists that visit each year great beaches, its inlets, Senhora da Paz, and famous custard queijadas de Vila do Franco, which are imported from the villa to Canada, Bermuda, and the United States. Local bakeries in the city also have them, so please check them out. They're delicious. We therefore have become sister cities with East Providence on October 2024 to strengthen those relationships between the city of East Providence and the village of Villafranca do Campo. So where it is the city of East Providence and the village of Villafranca do Campo are committed to developing tourism, exchanging business practices, and creating opportunities for people to learn and experience the culture in a long-term relationship. We do hereby, in conjunction with the Office of the Mayor, proclaim Grove Avenue as Villafranca do Campo Avenue in recognition of this partnership with our sister city.
Thank you, Councilwoman. That's a motion by Councilwoman Souza.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lawson. Any council discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, and there will be a later date as to when we will have that ceremony, putting the street sign up. Thank you.
And for clarification, whenever these street designations are made, the legal street name remains, Grove Avenue, and then this is a conjunctionary thing with it, and it's an honorary designation. So no one has to worry about changing mailing addresses or anything. Madam Clerk, could you read the heading for number 2?
Number 2, resolution to honor Avelino Chappie Rose by recognizing Carlton Avenue as Avelino Chappie Rose Way, introduced by Council President Rodrick.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So, Mr. Rose, known affectionately by much of the community as Chappie, was quite an individual. Is quite an individual, reaching 102, is it? No. 101 years of age. And along with Mayor De Silva, I visited with Chappie Rose and a lot of his family, friends, many who are here tonight. And he was quite alert and quite aware of what was going on. And he is a member of the community who is known by many as sort of the mayor of that community, going way back, as much as chasing the kids around who he thought weren't behaving well, and he'd go after them and straighten them out, usually verbally, but they wouldn't challenge him. They still don't challenge him, and he is every bit as vibrant these days. He's struggling a bit. You know, you can imagine when you reach 101 years of life, you slow down a bit, and so he's still sharp. He's still slowed down, but the neighborhood and much of East Providence that knew him rose up and said, "This is a man we want to honor while he can understand it and know what we're doing." And he was very happy at the presentation the mayor made, and I was able to join with him. So I will read much of this. It really illuminates the life of Avelino Chappie Rose. And if you don't know him, we hope that after this you'll get to know of his impact in East Providence and beyond. He was born on March 21st, 1924 in East Providence, whereas he was the eldest of 4 children born to Jose de Rosa, the island of Fogo, and Annie Brito Rose, the island of Brava, both part of Cape Verde Archipelago. How do you say that, Anna? Of that. And whereas Mr. Rose enlisted, and this is a very important part of his life, Cape Verdean, but American, and he served this nation. He enlisted in the U.S. Army at the age of 18 to provide support to his family, raising 3 siblings, Ida, Joseph, Mary. Sounds like the apostles right there. Whereas Corporal Rose served the 1883rd Company Aviation Battalion Engineers, assigned to the 10th Air Force in the China, Burma, India Unit. And whereas the battalion cut the roads in the land taken from the Japanese by Merrill's Marauders, a U.S. Army long-range penetration special operations jungle warfare unit. Chappie did it all. Whereas Mr. Rose, a World War II veteran, married the love of his life, the late Alice Fonts Rose, and raised 3 sons and 2 daughters. And whereas the couple first settled in Fox Point, and like most Fox Point people, eventually moved to East Providence, where they knew it would be a blessing. He always intended to return to his roots in East Providence. My wife was a Fox Pointer. She also had moved here, got wise. Chappie eventually intended to return to his roots in EP. The blessing of his mom, he built a home on Carlton Avenue, the very land where he was born and raised, originally owned by his maternal grandmother, Mary Santos. Chappie and Alice moved into the house he built with his own hands, and together they raised 5 children at that home that is now still at 21 Carlton Avenue. He enjoys spending time with his family, consisting of his son William and daughter-in-law Linda and their daughters Gina and Maria, daughter Lois and son-in-law John, son Jeffrey and his wife Patricia and their children, Jason and Allison, son Joseph, daughter Elizabeth, their children Alexander, Jonathan, and Derek. I think so many here. If you're here, raise your hand and wave, all of the family. So nice that you could be here for Chappie. His life was marked by a series of groundbreaking achievements, including becoming the first Black Cape Verdean processing sheriff in Rhode Island and the first Black Cape Verdean waterfront superintendent for John J. Orr and Sons Company. He also served as commander of the China-Burma-India Veterans Association, advocating for the recognition and dignity of his fellow servicemen. A devoted father, gave everything to his children, and instilled in them a deep commitment to education, hard work. So his legacy lies in his devotion to community. A true jack of all trades, he was a pillar of the Cape Verdean Progressive Center, where he volunteered countless hours as the building chairperson. He did everything. He had craftsmanship. His generosity shaped the physical and spiritual heart of the Cape Verdean Club, affectionately known by many of us as the CV Club. Renovated the front bar to the construction of the Founders Hall. It is widely acknowledged that no one has contributed more hands-on work to the CV Club than Chappie Rose. He was definitely a man ahead of his time, proud of his heritage, rooted in neighborhood, committed to lifting others through hard work, humility, and love. And if you get to meet Chappie, if you stop by there and see him, I had never met him until the other day. I've heard the name for years, and he was as sharp as a tack and told the mayor that, you know, it's a few things I want to straighten you out on, but he said, not today. He said, I want you to leave that street sign right here. And we left a couple signs there for him to have in his house. So he is truly, first and foremost, he's an honorable veteran who served this nation so well, but he never forgot his roots, from the neighborhood to his Cape Verdean culture, which we all know is such a great culture within not only East Providence, but this nation in many spots. And what more can a person do for family or community when much of that community still remembers him being out in the streets, telling them to clean up and pick up and do the right thing. So therefore, be it resolved that this city, his city of East Providence, and this city council, along with the office of Mayor De Silva, do hereby proclaim Carlton Avenue shall be recognized as Avelino Chappie Rose Way, to honor him for his outstanding achievements as a serviceman, builder, longshoreman, and volunteer in the city of East Providence. May I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
The motion is made by all sitting council members, seconded by all sitting council members. All in favor? Aye. Anyone dare oppose? No.
There's one thing you missed about this gentleman. I met him with my late grandfather, who came from Fox Point and everything, and back. As you know, my grandfather was that same scenario. One thing that you forgot to mention, and he was very humbled about it when I met him very young, he was a Purple Heart winner.
Yeah.
I just want to say, in these times, it's vital that we honor those who gave so much back. So those who come after us know what the standard is. And a veteran member of the greatest generation. The best part about being on this council is being able to honor people like Chappie, and that's great. It's important we do
When
this.
we were leaving his house the other day, then I'll go back to you, Councilman. He held one of the signs and he said to the mayor and to me, he said, "So this will be my street?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "I can speed, do anything I want on this street?" And we said, "Yeah, you got us there. There'll be, I think the deputy chief is here, the police department, our chief is here. So, you know, Chappie Rose, he's got a free ticket, just on that street though." So the motion carries officially. Congratulations. Thank you all for coming. You're welcome to stay here till 1 a.m. with the rest of us.
They're gonna go.
to the school now?
No.
Well, yes, we're going to the superintendent first. Yeah. There will be, by the way, there will be a formal ceremony when we will have a program to actually raise the sign, and we'll let the community know. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Also, switching up on the agenda a little bit, we going to go to page 2. Is it number Roman numeral 4 under proclamations and presentations? Madam Clerk, could you read number 1 and
Sandra Ferrand, East Providence Public School Department Superintendent. Ride Stage 2 submission.
thank you. Superintendent is here if you want to proceed.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. I'm here with my project team, Ann De Silva from Peregrine, and sorry, I know that, Tracy Donnelly, sorry, it's been a long day. Tracy Donnelly from Studio Jade.
Welcome.
Thank you. We're here to go over our stage 2 proposal so that we are able to get reimbursement from RIDE for these projects, and Ann is going to lead us through.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you, President Rodericks. So for context, we have not the first time that the City Council has been through this, but currently we are in for formal approval of the RIDE Stage 2 submission. This is really a funding exercise that we are currently going through. The current reimbursement rate for EP, as shown on the housing aid bonus on the RIDE website, actually shows it as a 47% housing aid reimbursement, just for some context. Just some background on this, we submitted the LOI for RIDE at the end of last year. We also submitted the stage 1 in February, which we got approval for back in April of this year. Since we received that approval, we've actually had some coordination meetings with the district and the facilities team to really go through and prioritize some of the needs at the current schools in East Providence. Studio Jade, Tracy Donnelly is here to represent them, actually went through facilities assessments as well after school let out this year. The beginning of July, we walked through again with facilities to just make sure that we are capturing all of the needs, prioritizing the elementary schools and a couple of some Riverside Middle School items as well. So after going through that, Studio Jade actually went through and did their assessment. And we actually also have estimates too associated with those priority items as well. So we've gone through and presented the draft stage 2 to Building and School Committee, and that's why this is now before you here. And I'll turn it over to our partner here, Tracy Donnelly from Studio Jade.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Council, for having us here tonight. I just wanted to give an update and a summary of the Stage 2 application. I know many of you have probably been through this before, maybe some of you have not. It is a requirement for RIDE in order to ensure that you get reimbursement on any projects that you do. It was mentioned what your current reimbursement rate is. There's also some opportunity for some bonus incentive points that would get you over 50% reimbursement on some of these projects that you do. So if we can just go to the next slide. So primarily, these projects entail what we call health and safety projects. A lot of them address either the exterior envelope or security. So you can see the allotments that are slated for each school. RIDE does approve the application by school. It is possible, if you need to do an adjustment and move funds from one school to another, should you decide to do that. That is usually done towards the end of your application. So this is a 5-year plan. And probably if you get towards the 4th year or so and you realize that you may want to shift something, you always have that opportunity to do that. But these are the maximum amounts that RIDE would reimburse per school. So starting with Oldham School, which is about 30,000 square feet, it would be select envelope repairs, roof and skylight replacement, intercom PA replacement, and a secure entrance vestibule at a total of about 2.9 million.
May I interrupt you just for 1 second? But
Sure.
clarifications for those in the community who maybe forget. The Oldham School is actually the old Meadowcrest building on Bott Drive. It is not referring to the Oldham School near the Crescent Park Carousel. This is the school that was formerly called Meadowcrest. And when schools were changed years ago, the name and the students and the faculty all followed. So that's why it's called Oldham. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, thank you for the clarification. Hennessy Elementary School, 250,000 for intercom and PA replacement. Kent Heights Elementary School, 250,000 for intercom and PA replacement.
And of course, those are so critical in this day and age of communications. And so many of our schools were in need of these improvements. And I think, Dr. Ferran, we're pretty much all buildings are about as well as we can expect right now. So this is going a long way to help that. Thank you.
Okay. Francis Elementary School, 400,000 site improvements, which would be paving, play areas, and fencing. Riverside Middle School, select site improvements would be similar, paving and that type of thing, addressing any fall hazards. And Silver Spring Elementary School, roofing replacement, 1.7 million.
So we are about 47% reimbursement. How do we get to the 50?
There are bonus reimbursements for things like safety and security. So your secure vestibule would be eligible. Your PA system projects would be eligible. Those are not guaranteed till the end of the project. When we submit the reimbursement forms to RIDE, we will help you. We'll fill those out for you. Make sure you get your reimbursement in on time and apply for any additional bonuses that you are eligible for.
Thank you.
I have one question in regards to Francis Elementary School right here. Maybe this is a question for the superintendent, but since it's not there, the security and PA system, everything is up to standards that we need to be? Thank you.
And Silver Spring Elementary School roofing replacement, 1.7 million. Waddington Elementary School, 550,000 for site improvements, similar to the other school. That would be paving, play areas, and fencing. Whitnack Elementary School, 600,000 for site improvements, select window and door replacement. And Orlo Ave Elementary School, 2 million for site improvements and roofing replacement.
So all Avenue is the same scenario as far as security and the PA system being.
This summer, we completed replacement of 4 intercom systems using the safety and security money that we had applied for. So the ones up there are the remaining schools that need the intercom replaced.
Thank you.
And this is just a chart that shows you which schools would be in which categories for projects, whether it was exterior improvements, roofing, site improvements, secure vestibules, and how those projects are allocated across the district.
Can you or Superintendent Ferran, for those who may be seeing some of these numbers for the first time, we're talking $9 million total project submission. Could you, in a nutshell, explain the source of this money?
I
Fund.
will let the superintendent speak to that, but I just want to reiterate the $9 million is just projects that are eligible for reimbursement. You are not tied into committing to that amount. RIDE anticipates about 50% for their expectations.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to add to that, Dr. Ferran?
Yes, so most of this money would be coming from the capital account that the committee established, the council established for the
Yes.
committee.
Thank you. Do you need to continue with anything?
I believe this is the last slide, so thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the council?
Are they slated to be on time? Improvements once?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even started yet or been designed. You have 5 years to complete these projects.
Right. So, and to get to the 50%, so all we need is those that you listed to get to that obligation?
So any of the ones that are on the list in the stage 2 application are eligible for your base reimbursement, which was the high 40s. And then any ones that are eligible right now, there's safety and security bonuses. So obviously your secure vestibules, your PA systems, those would be eligible for the bonus reimbursement.
So
Yes, Councilwoman? I'm sorry,
just-
go ahead.
would those be anticipated to get established and going first?
So we need your permission to move forward with stage
Right.
2,
Right.
and then we would submit stage 3. And
Do you have a time schedule as far as each building when you foresee those getting underway? Is there a priority as far as which schools are going first?
Yeah, so that will still be developed further. Stage 2 is really the funding exercise. Once we're approved, and RIDE will actually say which of these schools and which items they're actually going to approve and move forward for reimbursement. We actually have a stage 3 process where we need to submit schematic design, design development, construction documents at 60%. So there's another process that we need to go through for approval with RIDE before we can actually put boots on the ground to start the construction work. So the 5-year timeframe starts as soon as we receive the RIDE MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, where they can say, okay, these are the items that are actually approved, these are the schools, and your clock is ticking now. But that includes the design timeframe within that 5 years as well.
So, question for superintendent, and again, from a priority standpoint, if I'm looking at this real quick, the secure entrance and the intercom systems are probably going to be the first ones that you would want to do, correct? And I mean, then we don't want leaky roofs because that's no fun to be in a leaky roofs, and play outside playgrounds, paving would probably be at the end of the priority if we're looking at it to get the money from RIDE. You know, if
Yes.
we had to go 1 to 10.
yeah, so we'll prioritize based on health and safety needs This is the same process that we had to go through for the high school, and then we went through it for the Martin pre-K Waddington process. So this is our third time we're submitting to RIDE for these improvements. Two resulted in new schools, but this is district-wide projects. I also want to note that with we had applied for emergency safety and security money that you can apply for at RIDE once a year. So this year, this past year, we just completed the 4 intercom systems using that. And then we're doing paving projects. Hennessy actually started today. We have 4 schools that we're working on paving projects right now too, and that's safety and security money. So this will be separate from those, but we are continuing to do improvements and prioritizing needs based on health and safety.
And what I would urge my fellow councilors to do, and I'm sure everyone is on the same page, from my experience in dealing with the high school building committee, now the Martin building committee and others, time is of the essence on our part. We need to give the staff the legal permission to move forward. This is not the case statewide. I know from speaking to several people involved that there are other communities that are struggling. Some did not get the money. Some that are building high schools have slowed down and are now in some kind of difficulty. We've been moving right along and need to continue to do that. They'll prioritize things, I'm sure, with our, involvement, of course. So, any other questions?
For the chair.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Dr. Ferran, so just to be clear, the priority projects, they encompass $4.5 million out of the entire project, correct?
So the entire project we'll submit is for $9 million, hoping that at some point, maybe we do start to find additional funding. We have to complete half of that $9 million by RIDE standards, but we're better off over applying. That way we have the option to not go back to RIDE. And as we, get the money to do these additional projects, we could just move forward without doing another request.
And then with the request being the safety first, right, those priority ones, we're also in a position to get that higher reimbursement sooner, correct? Because that's the upwards of 50% once those are completed. So, and those are already set as our priorities to start with those projects.
Yeah, but reimbursement comes all at once, right, at the completion.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the project
Okay.
and how RIDE allocates it. Most of your projects would be eligible probably for one-time reimbursement, which would be you get your paperwork in by July 15th, and then their next payout schedule, you would receive full reimbursement on that.
Okay.
And the 5-year capital improvement plan does have flexibility. So you may see a schedule where a roof is allocated to be completed in year 5 and it starts leaking in year 2 or whatever. You have that flexibility to move things around.
This is similar to like the Martin Middle School where the construction's going on already and we're going to be paying the debt service already on it. And then RIDE will give us the money at the completion of the project. So it's similar?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, just the one difference is that this isn't bonded.
Yep. No.
Mr. Solicitor? do you want-
Councilman has a question.
I got a statement, so go ahead if you got it.
So I just want to make it clear. So the, based upon the ordinance that this council passed, those reimbursements would be put back into that school capital fund, which would then go to fund future projects. The regulations do require that the city and town, by approving this, at least you have to hit at least the 50% mark. So that's a commitment that the council is making, that you will be spending that $4.5 million over the next 5 years. And I just want to make this also very clear because I've represented a town that did get into a little bit of trouble. The reimbursement is not necessarily guaranteed to come in the year that the project is completed. So sometimes, there's a lag at either federal money or state money, so they kind of stretch it out a little bit. So, but the good news is that reimbursement is coming back to us, but we just may not get it all at once.
Councilman Lawson?
This is why I've been fighting for some of that camera money to go into that fund. These are safety concerns. These are roofs so kids don't have a leaky ceiling over their head. We have to make sure that the money is there, and maintenance is the first thing that gets deferred in a budget. That's why I've been fighting so hard that we have a dedicated source feeding this interest-bearing account. And I mean, we're at 2.8. And yes, the money is in the account. The school committee, it was ridiculous watching them go on for 30 minutes the other night. It was frustrating. The next day I woke up with tons of emails and stuff. The money is ready for you guys. Whenever you want it, it's sitting in the bank. We got to take care of these schools. We got to take care of these school buildings. We can't just keep letting them slide because the resources are not there. There's 2.8 now. There's already the intercoms alone. You know, you're looking at what, almost $1 million and stuff. So hopefully this budget we're going to see tonight has some money going into that account as part of this budget, because we can't just sit back and say, well, there's already 2.8. We don't need to keep feeding that fund. That to me is backwards thinking. So thank you for putting this together. We appreciate it. You know, my full support, and I'm going to keep pushing to see if some of that camera money can be a steady source of revenue for that account.
Is there a motion to proceed with?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And it's the RIDE Stage 2 submission. Motion is made by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilwoman Souza. Yes.
The minutes need to reflect this. So the motion is to approve and accept the submission as submitted by the school department with the council approval. That's the motion.
Okay, you have that wording, Madam Clerk. Anyone?
I'll make a motion to accept.
As
You
As
all set,
stated.
Andy? Do you have it? Okay.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Unanimous. Thank you for the presentation. Good luck.
Can I just make one comment? I just
Yes,
want to
please.
clarify. The ordinance that the council passed requires that when the school department wants to take money from that fund, to pass an ordinance, that the council pass an ordinance to appropriate money. So I just want to make it clear, I don't think you meant to mislead people, and I think it's just, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. You said the money's there for the school committee to use. The appropriation comes from this body.
The process is the school department identifies the needs.
Correct.
They let us know. We have you write up the ordinance.
Correct.
And then we pass it.
It was specifically set up that
Yes.
this council controls where that money goes after submission.
Based on what the school department wants, not what we want.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Well, I think it's what the community wants and what
Exactly.
they need.
Exactly.
Every building's our building, so.
Exactly. One city, like our president says.
Yep, there'll be, I'm sure we'll have a discussion and do it based on the school department's request. And
I
That's a
agree
good
with Rick. We've
clarification.
talked about this before about buildings, and it's besides the school, it's city buildings. And you got President Rodrick, you got on this council in 18. It was the councils before that. And it
19.
goes back. He got 19 January. All right, he got elected in 18. All right, I'll be so corrected. So we can never let what happened with those past councils to happen again, and let these buildings, no matter if it's school or city, go the way that they went. I mean,
Council Vice
I agree
President,
with
just
that.
for your correction, the council prior to this, current President's council got on, put $10 million for streets and sidewalks.
he's talking schools.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You said money towards infrastructure in the city. Right.
Yeah, I think the point that we're all making is well taken. That we, for a while now, we are concerned with our schools. They pretty much are they get every budget they've asked for. And as the council vice president is referring to, that was not the case. The schools suffered. So we are making a statement here that, we support education in East Providence. Thank you. Let's go back to the Yes, I think because it coincides with what we just heard, I would ask Councilman Lawson to give the school liaison report.
All right. So Martin Middle School, and Dr. Ferran, Bob, let me know if I'm off. It's on target. We're looking at opening the middle school portion this after Thanksgiving break. Still on track, which is exciting. That's a big milestone. The building's phenomenal. Robotic labs, all kinds of state of the art. The kids are going to so much benefit from it. After this part, the second phase, just so everybody's aware, is the preschool build. Currently, the preschool is housed at what is called Oldham, the former Meadowcrest. Waddington is bursting at the seams, but I ask people to be a little patient because once the preschool is done and they're projecting spring of 27, is that correct? Spring of 27, that will free up the current Oldham building. So some of the kids from Waddington and the school department will make that decision of K through 2 or whatever. And I believe they're going to work with the community, see what works best. So it sucks how tight it is now, but there is an end coming. So it's on budget. And by the end of this year, all the Martin Middle School kids will be in the new wing. We kept the auditorium. There was a slight change to the ceiling, but everything's still under budget. So it's exciting. We are moving forward. We've invested over $300 million as a community in our school buildings so far. We also did Waddington. There was a lot of things that needed to be adjusted in the interior of the building. That's been taken care of. But that just is a reason why we need to ensure that we get the money. $300 million is a lot. And we're going to do a budget where our debt service is what's adding to our budget. So we got to make sure we're taking care and maintaining of what we're investing in. The school department also passed their budget. It did increase from last year. A lot of it is salary obligations. I've been following along, and I challenge anyway, there's no fat in the budget. If anything, they've had to cut positions that in my case, in my view, I need it. We need people in the classroom. We need more adult to children ratios to help with learning. But unfortunately, we can only do so much with what we have. So I commend the school committee and Dr. Ferrand and her team. It's not easy. It's tough. You know, you're talking, do we cut late buses? Well, late buses are important for kids playing sports. And those are the types of decisions that I don't think the public really fully is cognizant of that the school department has to make. And everybody has their, what about me? What about me? Well, they got to look at the big picture. We got IEPs that just keep going up every year, the number of them. You need support staff to make sure an IEP is met. So I commend them. I do support what they put forward. I don't think it's a bad budget at all. And us funding that school building fund outside of their budget allows them to have more funding for teachers aides. One thing that's a little concerning to me, and I do want to mention, is our substitute budget. We're paying a lot for substitutes, and we're at as you know, our fiscal year is not, I didn't mean you specifically, but our fiscal year is not in sync. So most schools, they know on July 1 how much they got. We are basically riding on fumes towards the end. So October, you know, and whatever the reason for the need for substitutes, I'll let the school department deal with that. I mean, we impress upon kids that absenteeism is not good. So I hope we're ensuring that, you know, everybody is showing up. So I just want to take that moment, commend the school department, Dr. Ferrand and all her staff. It's not easy. It is not easy. And public education is vital in this country. So that's it. If I missed anything, if you guys want to add anything, more than welcome. But again, thank you guys for doing it. And please tell Tony and Jess, I could have told them the money's in the bank. You guys didn't have to rail for 30 minutes saying the city lost $2.8 million. That was never the case. So that's it for me.
Thank you. And the only thing I would add is that when the Martin Middle School project is complete, East Providence will have 3 secondary schools that are second to none in Rhode Island. The East Providence High School, Riverside has had so many improvements, and that was a tremendous building to begin with. That's how you should build schools, the plan that Riverside Middle School has. And now with Martin, there should be no complaints in the community. And it's part of the reason why enrollments are going up a little.
Yeah, and I want to make one more point, and not a question to be answered now, but if Oldham, if we're assessing if there could be an addition put onto that building, because despite everybody trying to say, oh, people ain't having kids, no more, our enrollment's going up. The high school's at what, 1,700? You know, Waddington has more students than the middle schools, not combined, but individually.
Yep.
We're 5 change, Riverside and Martin are 5, less than what we are stuffing in that building. So to say that, oh, well, no, the people ain't putting kids in school anymore, it's just not true in East Providence. Maybe outside of our borders, but East Providence, it's not true.
Well, and anecdotally, and no one has to comment right now, but with things happening at Oldham, at Crescent Park down the line, I think the Oldham School on Bott Drive needs to revert back to being called Meadowcrest. It's a Meadowcrest neighborhood. It's known by a lot of people. It's just a minor pet peeve of mine. At some point, do we want to keep having 2 Oldham school buildings? We got 3 votes here, maybe 4.
And I think, didn't you have to keep the name Oldham because of the funding of something?
No, we just moved the whole school at that time, and it made sense. It made sense at that time.
To who?
To yeah, it's just better now to not have.
Anyway, thank you guys. You guys did a great job. And
Yes, let's move on here. We have a long agenda. Thank you, Councilman, and everyone. Let's just go back and revert back to the beginning, and we'll move through this. Thank you all.
Consent calendar for discussion and possible vote. Council Journals, regular meeting minutes, September 2nd, 2025. Letters, new address, 300 Bourne Avenue, East Providence, Rhode Island, 02916, map 303, block 17, parcel 001.00, 16 Raleigh Street, East Providence, Rhode Island, 02914, map 407, block 13, parcel 00.10, 186 through 188 Juniper Street, East Providence, Rhode Island, 02914, map 106, block 34, parcel 010.00. Tax abates and cancellation and abatements, 39,046.20.
I have a question on the consent calendar as it resorts to the abatements. Mike, would that be something that you'd be able to answer? Okay. Michael? Oh. I circled it. So the abatement, the tax abatement on there is for a Barrington address.
What address is that? Because there is a part of Barrington. They have Barrington addresses, but it's East Providence. I brought that up in the past. There's a section, the apartment buildings that are off the trail, because people complain there.
So it's a waterfront area.
Nyack Point, Barrington, Rhode Island.
Well, Nyack Point is well into Barrington.
Well, it could be that's where the
line is.
could be the taxpayer's address. Could be the billing address.
Yeah.
But the property that it's referencing.
What's the name? That's the name of the taxpayer.
Okay, so what's the property?
It's R 61-124-24. I don't know. You'd have to look it up on the,
Right, so can we pull that one just for more information? I just want some clarification.
approve all the abatements except for that. And so we'll just adjust the total, but all the abatements except for the 55C Nyack Point address.
Okay.
We approve the calendar and then the abatement separate from the whole calendar?
It's just taking that one item off.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept with the removal of that one item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Continue, Madam Clerk. Yeah. Is it licenses, I think?
There's no licenses today. Communications, Bethany White, discriminating chicken ordinance.
If Ms. White is present, come forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, just name and address for the record. Is that mic on? Just push the button there. Need the red light on. There you go.
My name is Bethany White. I live at 2 Sutcliffe Circle in Rumford.
Thank you. Just so you know, because the meetings are recorded, you need to speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Well, it's all right.
I already had 3 eggs today.
Okay, I'll have an egg. Sure I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have a lot of time, so you need to make your comments. Thank you.
No, they're the same. They're just added to, just for more information.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Well, I was gonna cast up here, but I'll just read off of here. So I'm here. I am an EP resident. I've been a resident of Rumford for about 18 years, and I'm here to talk about the chicken ordinance that we have. I'd like to add a little perspective on why we have it, the history of these kinds of ordinances, and I think there are particular instances to our community that will resonate with the council. So I wanted to broadcast my deck, but
You can,
Yeah, we don't allow the broadcast other than department heads of the city, and because you never know what could appear.
Well,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nothing, inappropriate in my deck.
Yeah, especially this day and age, if you follow the news, we don't know what could happen.
All right. Well,
And you have emailed this to us, so we will.
there are additional slides in here because
Mhm.
the deck I
Okay.
is much bigger with more information. What I sent you was my open and my close.
Sure.
So you have know what to expect. So you won't be actually able to see the pictures of the stuff that I've gathered or the data, but I'll just talk you through it.
can you
And-
just
and
pull
just
the
to
mic
let you
down
kn-
a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to let you know, you're obviously welcome to say whatever you need to say, but there is no vote scheduled on this. So I know I've heard from some people that are asking us, there have already been prior votes, prior council, this council. So this is just communication. There is no legally advertised vote on this agenda.
No, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Where there's no vote, I think I and other people have asked for another vote to happen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this information that I'm going to share with you today will inspire you to change that and schedule the vote. So let's get through, let's look at the
Please.
information that I brought for you today. Okay, so the one person that I wanted to mention who I ran in today earlier at Omega Pond is Roger Williams. He obviously was a keeper of chickens. They were their earliest remembrance in our town is 1621, when Governor Winslow sent chickens to Soames, where Massasoit was sick, and Governor Winslow sent him the chickens and said, "Make a broth." And Massasoit said, "Actually, I think I'll keep them and raise them and use the eggs." So 1621, Winslow and Massasoit is really the first time you hear about chickens in the New World. So why do we care about chickens in EP? There are a couple of reasons, but one in particular is that 24% of our population calls Portugal their home, their heritage. That's more than any other place outside of Portugal as a percent of population. Other places have more people. We have the biggest representation. 10% of the state is Portuguese. So the reason why I bring that up is that one of the national heritage images of Portugal is the rooster of Barcelos. I didn't know this until I went to sign up to speak at City Hall. I'm not Portuguese. I'm not from Rhode Island. I've lived here for 18 years, and I've been absolutely fascinated with the history of the city, the two different kinds of the history, the initial immigrants, and then our other waves that came through later. So the rooster of Barcelos, he is, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, so correct me if I'm wrong, but he symbolizes justice, freedom, and good luck. Furthermore, our state bird is a chicken. Literally, a chicken. And it's not just any chicken, y'all. That's what's really great about this. It's not just any chicken. It's the chicken. The chicken. So in 1864, a group of breeders in Little Compton gave us the Rhode Island Red. In 1960, we did a tourism campaign based on this called Be a Rooster Booster. And people were wearing pins for the rooster. That was related specifically to the red. So why was the red the best chicken? What did it make such a big difference? Well, it was the first dual purpose bird. So it was good for meat and it was good for eggs. It was good for our New England winters. It could survive the heat. It could be confined. It could free range. So when that bird hit the scene in 1864, it became the genetic baseline for the American poultry industry. That's why you see in 1848, the 100-year anniversary of the American poultry industry, they issued a stamp to honor the chicken, our chicken. So why was it good? Good for meat, which is the Malay, matched with the Leghorn, which is good for eggs. Those two gave us the red. So this bird was docile. You could live through our winters. It could be confined. And it produced probably like twice the eggs that the typical backyard bird did at the time. And it came from Little Compton. So, like I said, that is our state bird. And 24% of our population is Portuguese. So in 1954, it became the state bird because we had an election. It was elected the state bird. There was a ballot. I can't show you the picture, but I'm looking at it here. The other birds were bobwhite, hummingbird, osprey, Rhode Island red, and the towhee. So the working class wanted the red. There's a cute little picture here of a kid in a wagon being pulled by a chicken. And there's an article that you can't see, but it's about a housewife in Jamestown who found an egg from her Rhode Island red that had 3 yolks in it. And her comment was, could a hummingbird or an osprey do that? So the local communities got into the state bird competition. A different community got behind the osprey. And their message was that they wanted people to pick the osprey because it was graceful, majestic, and made its living through its own resources. So this is when you start to see the chicken, you see evidence of a different in the way people think about chickens, right?
Can I just interrupt you? You certainly can continue, but we've got a time limit, so which is at our discretion. There's no number limit. We do have several other people, so I like the history of it, but could you get us up to date as to what you're looking for us to do? I mean, the state, we all know that. We also have other state.
Did you want to let me talk, or do you want to tell?
Well, no, I want to have the discretion to run the meeting, and I'm asking you to please.
When I made my request, I asked you for 20 to 30 minutes. I made it clear that. This
And
was
I
not
said it would be at my discretion. We don't have 30 minutes for every person. We would be here all night long.
Well, you knew.
Just asking you to get more to your point and not to speak out from the audience. Yeah, well, I'm Bob Roderick's Roger Williams. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. All right. So what I want you to see here is that the Rhode Island won an election. Secondly, now we'll move on to the other cities. There's a chart here of the other cities who already allow chickens. Boston, New York City, Chicago, LA, Houston, Atlanta, Providence, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, Providence passed it. Barrington, maybe 10 years ago. And this is the part I want you to hear about. I went down to Barrington on Friday and met with the man who enforces their code. He lives in EP. And so I asked him, how many chicken keepers do you have in Barrington? They don't even know. It's not even important enough to them to keep a list. I asked him on Friday. He said, we'll look into it on Monday. They don't even take it seriously enough to keep a serious list about their chicken keepers. So I said, how many complaints do you have? Thinking I'm opening up myself to something stressful. They've had one in the last year, and it was about rats. And the person decided not to follow through with it because it wasn't actually about rats. So the man who enforces code in Barrington lives in Riverside and wishes we could have chickens. And I have his letter too, so I'll send that over. So we are behind all these other cities, and the reason why those cities can have chickens and we can't is because they use the historical precedent that immigrant and working class neighborhoods have always had chickens. As far back as 1901, the NYC housing code allowed chickens. They restrict pigs and horses and cattle. But chickens have always been treated like pets. They are not treated separately under the code. They're all handled by the noise ordinance or the nuisance ordinance. I've included some pictures of other places. In 2023, Madison, Wisconsin changed their hen limit from 4 to 8 to help battle egg price fluctuations. So the next thing I want to tell you is that the work to have this ordinance overturned has been done. We have gotten the signatures. We've been asking for it for nearly 30 years since the ordinance went into place in 1998. There's been someone actively wanting the chickens to be handled legally. 63% of the votes came from Mr. Lawson's ward. 11% came from Ward 1. 2 and 3 are already on board. They were 26% of the votes. Noise is not an issue. I have made a chart of the decibels. We aren't asking for a rooster. We're asking for chickens, a max of 60, a max of 6. That's 60 to 70 decibels. That's less than a vacuum cleaner, sports on TV, things that are inside your house. 6 chickens are quieter than that. Egg price fluctuation. This is the part I really want you guys to think about. I don't want you to be entirely focused on the fact that I want you to flip this over. I want you to understand what is coming with snap cuts, with egg prices and the budgets of the people. So we just went through, because of avian flu, the people paid 14 billion more as a group for egg prices during that time in the last 5 years. The reason why that happens is that commercial egg farmers that have 10s, 20,000 of chickens, when they get avian flu, it sweeps through the whole group and they have to cull them. That's how we get these supply gaps. With avian flu goes through, we have lower control over these systems, lower regulations, fewer regulations. More things like this will happen. We will have more incidents of avian flu blasting through. Then they have to kill the birds. That creates a supply gap. That's why the prices went up. Places that have a network of backyard chicken farmers and they share eggs are better able to weather these changes. They share eggs. They work with, in some places, the food banks. We're able to better react to these conditions if we have access to chickens in our communities. So, and just to be clear, $1 trillion was cut out of Medicaid. 186 billion is coming to SNAP. That's 20%. 20% of cuts that will 20% that will affect working requirements. That's going to affect age, how people in your house, all kinds of things. We were already working, like Senator Lawson last year piloted SNAP Eat Well, Be Well to incentivize people buying healthy fruits and vegetables with their SNAP money. Every 50 bucks they spent, they could get 25 that they spent on fruits and vegetables. So SNAP cuts are coming, big ones. Why does that matter to the average working person? 90% of households buy eggs every week. That's 6 to 7 meals worth of protein. Eggs are already the cheapest protein. That's what people use to replace meat and fish. It is considered to be a low elasticity staple. It's like the lowest rung on the ladder. So when poor people can't afford eggs, they are in big trouble. And so we have seen a $3 increase on the cheapest eggs. $4.59 is cheap. So when we ban chickens,
I just have to ask you to wrap it up. Please. We've
Yep,
got
I'm
a
almost
couple more minutes.
so I am going to wrap it up. There's this last thing. This is the really important thing. I'll skip the history of why we've got here. It's racism. It's the same thing that got us Fox Point. It's the same thing that got us I-95, 195 right through the middle of the city. We have these bans in place to keep poor people from having chickens. White people, wealthy people, that's fine. They get away with it because they make it look okay. It's acceptable. I have lots of propaganda here from 1918 until 1945 showing you how we marketed chickens to suburban white people. At the same time, we were telling the people in the slums they couldn't have them. So that's how we got here. My recommendation, I'm going to clean it up. The recommendation is this, that you schedule a vote, that you free us from this arbitrary and discriminatory ordinance. No one else has an issue with chickens. No one, anywhere. Most people don't even realize they're legal in New York City. They are. They always have been. It's not an issue. The complaints that people have come out of that classism and racism. Chickens aren't loud. They aren't scary to see. The last thing I want to say, this is the fun part. This is why I brought up the rooster. This is why I'm bringing up Portugal. We have an opportunity to solve a problem that we all have using resources that our community has in its heritage, right? So there are currently 4 Portuguese heritage chicken breeds that are critically endangered. These are not red jungle fowl that you see everywhere. These are specific heritage breeds that are also really good for families. We have 2 sister cities in Portugal who are the masters at chicken. We know that. They could help us learn these techniques that have been in our history forever and solve our problem and help them solve theirs. So I'm suggesting that we step forward with chickens, understand that we can do them, the city can handle it, our people can handle it, and it will help us in 2 ways: food security and community enhancement, just better connection between our people. This will be a good choice. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Next speaker on the list, please, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker would have been Nancy Hale, but she's out sick. So we will move on to public comment.
Public comment, yes.
Allison Turbot.
Hi, just give your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Allison Turbot. I am back representing the chicken ordinance that's being proposed. I am really hoping that you vote for this because I will remind you I am a constituent and a United States citizen, and it is an election year eventually. So I'm hoping you vote for this and make sure it passes. I'd really like to continue living in East Providence and have more access to agriculture. I'm also aware a lot of people tend to keep more than 3 dogs in their houses, and nobody has been complaining about that compared to chickens. So if we set these double standards up for small animals and continue to discriminate against chickens, goats, sheep, horses, and cows, I just don't really think this is a great city to live in, and I believe we should have the right to grow our own food and be self-sufficient.
Thank you, ma'am. Next person.
Renee Ignace.
Just say Renee. We know Renee.
I'm sorry.
You're going to let him get away with that?
Mike puts his foot in his mouth a lot. That's okay.
You did that a lot tonight too.
Continue, Renee.
So that's just okay. I'm actually I'm Renee Ignacio, 15 Madeline Drive,
Thank you.
City of East Providence. I'm actually here for 2 reasons. And one, I have to apologize to the clerk here because saying an ordinance is really difficult. But I'm here because Councilman Lawson last meeting, you had brought up an ordinance, an amendment of Chapter 2 for the revised ordinance of the City of Rhode Island, of East Providence, 1998 for the school bus violation system. So basically, instead of taking the speed cameras and the red light camera money that was already in the budget, you wanted to take it for this new revenue from the school budget projects. So the full 25% of the revenue received for the school bus tickets, the passing on the reds, would go into the school building fund, correct? As Councilman Rigo stated, in having to do with more research, we have to pay an officer to sit there and issue the ticket is going to cost us more money than it was before and more time with the police officers. I mean, no matter what it is, the law has come, it's happened. We have to pay for this. But before, what was the cost before? We don't even know. So, because all this time we've been told this wasn't going to cost the city or the taxpayers any money when we had this whole discussion since November. When the mayor got involved, this was not going to cost the city anything. This was going to be free to the school department and the taxpayers, but now if we have to pay the police department, which we wouldn't have to be before, now it's going to cost us money. So I'm a little confused because I know I've done all the research. I've probably done more than a lot. So Councilman Rigo said that they would put it towards the police department budget because they're going to be the ones overseeing this. I mean, good, whatever, as long as this gets done sooner or later. The wishy-washy thing back and forth is kind of getting to be unbelievable. I worked kind of hard on that to bring it to you guys because I don't know, it was more for the safety of the kids than anything. I do not put any of this on the city council. But when I'm just going to call it as I see it, it was all political BS crap at the time. Cameras were supposed to be on August 25th. Now we're nothing. At the school committee meeting, the chief had no answers, hard answers on what was going on because we didn't know the cost. I understand that. Now they're going to be installed on the 27th. So I don't know what's going on with that. So there are a few things I'm confused about. When I brought this up to the city council, when I came to you guys to discuss it, you all told me that it was a school committee issue, correct? Right? We're all on board.
At that time, yep.
Right. To handle the contracts and everything because you're separate, city and school. I understand that. So I'm just confused how the mayor can put out an RFQ without the school committee members knowing or seeing it. And it's all on tape, all at their meetings and everything. So my understanding is that all 5 members had to agree and vote on the RFP and RFQ, and that didn't happen with this. That it was stated at the school committee meeting. I would like to know how the mayor could enter the city into a contract with the police department and gatekeeper camera system without coming before the council and asking for the resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into said contract. The mayor violated chapter 16-2-9 general powers of the school committee. It's just something I wanted to ask.
Sure.
I can provide an answer if you want the answer. So the first of all, the state statute that you refer to requires the school department with the chief of police to enter into the contract. My understanding is that the request for production or request for qualification was sent out by the school committee, and the school committee did award the contract pursuant to that statute. So that was not sent out by the mayor. That was sent out by the school department. In fact, I know that for a fact because there has been some lawyers that have gotten involved regarding that, and the school department lawyers handling that. So the city did not have any role in putting together the RFQ that the school committee then got some bid submissions from, and they awarded the contract after consultation with the chief of police.
I thank you for the clarification because I was confused on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Going back
And that contract is a public record. If you make a request for it, we'll be happy to provide it to you.
Right. That's all. I just wanted to know how, so.
And that's why excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. And that's why the city council had no role in having to approve that contract or whatever, because it's clearly within the school department's.
And that's why I came up here to ask for the
Yeah,
clarification.
understandable, yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Sure.
Because I think Councilman Lawson's right. It should go back into the schools for safety or whatever it needs, And do we know where the money is for the schools? Is it in that 3.3 or 2.8
So
million?
this is what drives me nuts about this city. Somebody says something that's not true, and they spent 30-something minutes at that meeting. The money is in the bank. It has been, as soon as the bond closed out, there was 2.8 million left, and it was put into a bank account. There's nothing missing. There's nothing. So tell Tony, please stop, because he's not helping.
When you're listening to the meeting, you're just kind of.
I get it, but what they were saying was just not true.
Well, that's why I came.
And that's the problem. They could have reached out, and I'm not sure why the city didn't let them know it was set up, but the money was there. There was zero need to get that ridiculous for over 30 minutes.
But instead of dragging it on, I came for clarification.
Right, so we've cleared it
They
up.
all have my number. They know how to reach me. They know how to reach anybody. They could have asked, but they didn't do that. They sat there grandstanding for over 30 minutes.
So thank you for,
Absolutely.
Can we move on? Thanks, because we have some others. Renee, as always, thank you for your passion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Tony DeJesus.
The Jesus.
DeJesus.
You're 0 for 2 so far. No. No. It's correct name, whatever it is, and address for the record, please.
It's Tony DeJesus, 7 Fisher Street in East Providence.
Thank you. Proceed.
I'm coming to you as a citizen of East Providence. For 45 years, I worked for the Big Blue Bug Company in Providence, Rhode Island, and was in charge of the training of our technicians. And I also was the person who trained the people from the Rhode Island Department of Health, the food inspectors who inspect our restaurants and things. I trained them on mice, rats, roaches, and flies. And I'm coming at you from a different perspective than the people who are saying some of the other things. I'm coming to you from a health issue about the potential problems. I'm not saying that because you have chickens, you're going to get rats. Not necessarily true, but it is a conducive condition is what we refer to it as. Because certain conditions are there. It's the animal itself, the chicken, the eggs, the food, the fecal material. Do you know the average chicken in Rhode Island has 10 pounds of manure per month? So if you have 6 chickens in your backyard, you're getting 60 pounds of manure in that backyard every month. Every month. That's, believe it or not, food for rats. Rats will feed on that. They feed on it because it's not 100% digested. The other problem with rodents is their ability to reproduce. And for the ladies here, this is a horrible thing, but a rat, female rat, can get pregnant while she's still lactating the babies. Their gestation period is 21 to 23 days, and they reproduce about every 5 weeks, 6 to 12 pups per litter. And it is estimated that if you took a female and a male rat and gave them ideal conditions with food, in a year's time, you could have up to 1,000 rats. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that in a rat society, and I'm not saying that that's ideal conditions, but if it's not ideal, you get an average backyard with some chickens or animals there that get a rat population. Once that population starts to grow, the alpha rats in that population start kicking out the other weaker rats and saying, this area is mine, find your own area. And what area is that? It's the neighbors, it's the people next door, people 2 houses away. That's where your problems start. And I know you folks get lots of phone calls with snow removal and signs and things like that. When the rat calls start coming in, let me tell you, it's a whole new ball game.
They've already been coming in.
Yeah. And I've been involved in rat control issues with the city of Providence at the bus turnaround and also in their neighborhoods when they developed their neighborhood program. And we were the company of choice that got the bid. It was thousands of dollars it cost the city of Providence. Now Providence has 2 dedicated rodent people, at least, doing rodent control work in the city, going out inspecting homes and things like that. Pawtucket has a rodent control czar. He's actually a guy that I trained. He worked for Big Blue Bug Solutions and left us and opened up his own business. And then now he's a rodent control person for Pawtucket. City of Cranston has dedicated rodent people. These are people they're paying money to, paying benefits to, paying salaries, paying insurance, because you are now putting poisons on people's property. You need to be insured to do that. You need to be licensed to do that. So there's lots of expenses involved here. And also, it's not only just rats, but it's flies. The flies will be drawn to the fecal material and the food and the chickens in that area. And now here you are, you're next door having a cookout. Fly comes in from the poop of the day next door and lands on your cheeseburger. You know, I mean, the possibilities of disease, flies, rats, rodents, they carry diseases. Diseases like E. coli, salmonella, and other diseases that can make people sick. Rat bite fever is a very real thing. You get a dead rat or a rat and a small child. You know, a small child, 3 or 4 years, I can think of my grandchildren, seeing an animal run across the yard, they're curious. You know, and you get bit or you get even scratched. Even if they go to pick up a dead one or touch a dead one and get scratched, the potential is there for rat bite fever. I mean, this is all stuff you can Google and look up. But once we start, we're not a community like Rehoboth, or we're not a community like, you know, Foster, Gloucester, Chapat, out in those areas, you know, Situate, those areas. We have small lots. You know, I mean, literally, you can have a population of rats, and I've been involved in them on farms, but they're within an acre, you know, of that farm. They're, you know, so you can, that's only, the only one that's bothering is the farmer. But here, when they start to spread out and they start to go into the neighborhoods, that's where you end up with your problems. And now we're trying to draw business to Rhode Island too. How would you feel if you go out to eat and you go into a restaurant, you park your car, and in the parking lot, you see a rat run across the parking lot? Now, that rat may have come from the house, because you think of all the restaurants along Warren Avenue, Waterman Avenue, and places like in East Providence, right behind them are residential neighborhoods. And if the rats came there, what is that person doesn't even, I know my wife would be like, get back in the car. We're not going to eat here. You know, there's no way possible. You know, and I could say to her, well, the rat's not in the restaurant, but she wouldn't want to hear it. You know, and what's she going to do too? When she talks to her friends that, you know, a couple of days later, hey, we were going to go out to eat, and you know, we saw a rat in such and such a restaurant. You know, it's not what we need. It's not conducive to business either. So there are so many issues here to think about, not just, you know, and I understand the people that want to buy eggs and things like that, and there is a cost involved. But let me tell you something. The cost of a pest control service, if they ever have to have it because they have rats in their yards, they could have bought a lot of eggs for what they're going to pay for a professional pest control service to come in and eliminate it. So I'm urging you, when you consider this, to consider the other issues, you know, and consider the neighborhoods, the people that are there, the people that don't have the chickens. Anybody have any questions you want?
No, thank you. I've been talking to a constituent today. There's a street in Riverside. Multiple families had to call Guardian Pest Control for rats.
They didn't call the big blue bug?
Oh, they call Guardian's a good company. Local company.
Guardian's local,
Local, good
veteran
company. I have
friendly.
nothing but good to say about them.
I'm just kidding.
This is a promo for them.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's a good company. So, you know, please consider that, you know, the other
And
ramifications.
those health reasons are why I oppose.
That's it. You know, you got bird flu.
And I get more people reach out opposing
Yeah.
than advocating for. And I understand, you know, responsible chicken owners, they take care of it.
Yes.
But it just takes that one. And unfortunately, we got multiple that just ain't doing the right thing.
And then it gets into the neighborhood, and now, and again, if the city has to pay for that, it's going to cost the city thousands. And then the other thing is, it doesn't go away overnight. When it gets like when we did the city of Cranston, the city of Providence, it took almost a year. So now you're telling people are saying, well, we just paid X amount of dollars, and how come the problem's not solved? It takes a long time, because that reproduction that I talked about, the rats reproducing so often, they're reproducing as quick as you're killing them.
Thank you.
Do you have a experience or thought on the cost? I mean, I just bought some eggs. They're $2.98. You know, prices are down there. They're $4 somewhere maybe, but right here in East Providence, in a nice, clean, populous market on Tucket Avenue, $2.98 today. How much would it cost for me to build chicken coops and buy the feed for the chicken? I got to think that's not cheap.
Not to mention the labor. I mean, if you're not keeping up, like I said, how many droppings, how much manure, you've got to clean that on a daily basis. And in an average homeowner's their lifetime, you know, they're busy. They're taking kids to Little League, to dance, to this and that, and doing things. And yeah, the chickens may be helping them out, but it can be
Yeah,
absolutely-
I mean, I appreciate you coming forward. Those are the reasons why I wouldn't support this.
Yeah, so it sounds like the ones that are doing it right is okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if somebody's doing it right, you know, I mean,
That's
it could be a good
If
thing.
they're doing
but
it right, it's okay.
Only takes that one person or two
Right.
people.
If they're not doing it right, it's not okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your input and your patience. Madam Clerk, continue. Is there anyone else?
No, that was it.
Okay, next item.
Appointment of Councilman Lawson to the East Providence Conservation Commission.
Is there a motion?
I wasn't done.
That's all right. Is there a motion?
I'll appoint them.
Roger Williams is
make a
not on the motion by Councilman Fogarty, seconded by Council Vice President Rego. Any discussion from the council? All in favor?
No, this
Aye.
came about. But this came about because I had a constituent, not my constituent. I was at the Myrtle, and she was asking about the Conservation Commission. So when I looked it up, I noticed the city council had an appointment on it, so that's why. And those guys do awesome work.
Yep.
Ernie, Wayne, unfortunately,
Oh,
Keith left.
Thank you for stepping up.
Absolutely.
So that motion passes unanimously. Next item.
Council members, number 1, 2025 projected revenue and actual revenue received year-to-date. Councilman Lawson.
Councilman.
Is anybody from city able to talk about these numbers? So basically, I just want to see what had come in for fiscal year 25, if it matched the projections to where we are now. And the reason I brought this up is the finance director, I asked her about the speed camera money as I was researching these. And it appeared we only brought in about 2 million, but we projected for 3.5. So that kind of raised the red flag. So that's, I just want to know if the projections from FY25 are we hitting them?
Councilman and council members, I did send over the Excel spreadsheet this evening. Well, actually, this afternoon once I received it from our finance director. So if you have a moment to take a look at that, there are 3 sheets to review, and it breaks it all down. It was you wanted the actual the budget to actuals.
Okay.
So
The one from 606 tonight?
yeah, that's correct.
Let's see.
That should have some of your answers, but I haven't been able to review it line by line just yet, and our finance director isn't currently here. As you know, we're finishing up.
Well, let's table it till she's here.
I wanted you to be able to
So-
review it as well.
And why are there so many of these in the red on the right, under parentheses red? That usually means deficit, but the numbers look. All right. All right.
From what I can see, why they're in red is that if you look at it, Councilman Lawson, and just following along on line, it says taxes, line 40006.
Yep.
It looks like it was budgeted at 116,385,000, and so far the current what has been received is 103,343,000. I'm not going to read the whole number. So it's saying that it's a right now we're a negative variance of 13 million to hit projection. That would be where it is there. If you go all the way over to the last number, we're at 88% of the projected income, 88.79. So in an accountant running balance, we're still showing a deficit. If we were at 100, it should be totally in black. So there's that people use that as an accountant purpose. I would have preferred to see like a negative then, because the red right away thinks it's that way.
It's not consistent either.
I would prefer if she would use like minus 13 million so we know where to go. But so that's what I'm picking up there, because it was, if you look at the projections where we are and then what the variance is to get it, it would be the 13 million.
And Councilman, as you know, we're preparing to go into our budget season, and we'll be able to discuss any line item as in terms of budget projections and where we are with our revenue as well.
So that tax number, obviously, that was as of the 31st of July. So that gap should be almost that gap should be at that 13 million, because the next tax period, Q2 in the city's fiscal year, was September 1. So I would hope that we are pretty close to absorbing that 13 million based on what was collected from the city, because that would be the last time in this fiscal year that we're going to receive a bulk of the taxes, because the next tax period starts on the 1st, is due the 1st of December, which would be in the next budget that we're doing.
Yeah, and I'm looking quick. I'm not seeing the speed camera revenue on here. All right, I'll look. Like I said, we just got it 606. So Oh, here we go. I'm lying. Census guy. So we're 1.3 million under what we projected for the camera revenue. And there's what, month and a half left, if that? So, all right. We'll look into it.
Probably the construction in some of the streets.
That's why I impose these cameras. It's not a consistent source of revenue. And we're making revenue projections in our budget based on numbers that
Because you have to.
they're not consistent though. 3.5 million and we're 1.5 underneath that. How are we paying our bills? You know?
Well, with the
I
budget
understand you
process,
have to
we'll-
put a budget number in there. We know how a budget works. I'm just saying 3.5 and we're 1.5 underneath that projection. So, all right, thanks.
Yep, thank you. We'll get into that with the budget. Madam Clerk, could you hold up, please? Could you go to page 6 on the agenda and read item number 4, and we will go to that item, and then we'll go back.
Number 4, resolution authorizing the mayor to purchase a new K-9 and 8 new police vehicles for the police department, introduced by Council President Rodrick.
This chief is present, and I won't read the resolution. If you want to summarize for us, chief, and what the need is and the source of funding.
Absolutely. Thank you for moving me up on the calendar here. So we are looking to purchase 8 fully marked cruisers and 1 K-9 cruiser. A couple of years ago, we were able to purchase a used K-9 cruiser. That's getting towards the end of its lifespan. That is being used 24 hours a day. That K-9 specifically, Oki, stays in that cruiser for most of the shift, for lots of travel time to and from the owner's home or the handler's home. So it does have a lot of engine hours and is due to be replaced shortly. That's going to be a Chevrolet Tahoe. The reason why is because the amount of equipment that these officers now have to carry, as far as the K-9 officers, they carry quite a bit more equipment and testing sources for their K-9 more than a regular Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorers, the 8 there, when I first came back in June, we met with the mayor and his chief of staff about implementing fleet cars. Right now, currently, we are one of the only police departments that run all of our police cruisers 24 hours a day. So we have a constant vehicle running. The engine hours are through the roof, which obviously turns into many issues with maintenance, the lack of maintenance, because, you know, if they're due to have an oil change, for instance, and that officer goes on a call for service, we have a very small window when that officer can get that oil change down at City Highway Garage. And we try to work as closely as we can with Highway to make sure these vehicles are maintained properly. But unfortunately, we just, you know, things do slip through the cracks. And what happens is, you know, you've, like the buildings, you fail to maintain your vehicles, and, you know, they're not lasting as long. And we're having issues with vehicles that have 30 to 60,000 miles on them, which is very, you know, it's concerning. So implementing this first fleet, it'd be a second fleet of cars. We would give at least an hour, a shift off with cars being able to rest, and also assigning them to officers. So officers would be able to be more prideful of the car, to have a little more boost in morale as well, because that's going to be their vehicle to share with another officer. Right now, you could have three officers in one day working using one cruiser. So 3 different drivers can cause other issues. So all the funding for to pay for these cruisers are coming from DOJ funds. So this will not cost the taxpayers a penny. We are fortunate enough to continue to use the Google funds through DOJ to purchase these 8 vehicles.
And just my usual caveat, Google money doesn't exonerate us from having to invest in the police department. So we still have to from time to time. So it's awesome we can do these, but we can't rely on it 1,000% that. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilwoman Souza. The amount is $766,299.89 from the DOJ Federal Asset Forfeiture Funds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your patience.
Thank you.
Now we can go back to, let's see, we were in resolutions, was it? Oh, council, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk.
Number 2, community choice electricity aggregations. Council Vice President Regal.
Council Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam Clerk, this was an issue that came up when I was running for office originally. A lot of the cities and towns were getting involved with it. And it has progressed to the point, obviously, where we know that National Grid has sold to now Rhode Island Energy. So I'm looking, this is a little information package here for the council to start looking. We are always looking to help the benefits of the citizens of the city, to help them save money. And I think this is a good step. We can look at it. This is for your perusing. We can go into everything. But I use Narragansett. I took Narragansett for 2 reasons. It is running very well. And I'm a little biased too that the town manager in Narragansett is a native of Ward 1 and a good friend of mine, and a former decorated police officer. And I think we're moving the needle forward as far as ADUs and everything to help our citizens. And I think this is another way to help the residents of East Providence. As you can see here, the supply program is designed to provide residents competitive rates and options in renewable energy. The program was approved by the Narragansett Town Council and 6 other Rhode Island communities. It tells you how to enroll if you don't want to enroll. It goes through everything here. I also, on the last page, lists what the community choice, what the state of Rhode Island has set up. So I don't want to bore anybody here, but I think this is something that in the next year of this council that we really take a look at it, because I know this process, the solicitor will probably can enlighten a little bit, but we have to apply to the PUC, and this is going to take work for the council as well as the administration to do this. And I have a copy of this for you, Patricia, as well. People who I've spoken to in Narragansett like it, who are on the program. And again, it's been in Massachusetts for a long time. Brookline, if you do some research, Brookline, Mass was one of the leaders in this, and they continue to prosper, and more people sign up. What you got to understand too is that if a line goes down or anything, Rhode Island Energy will still be the company that will repair and do everything that they normally do now. But I think it's important that we look at this, and then, after we get done with the budget. But I just wanted to plant a seed right now to help save the citizens of East Providence some money on their electricity. And coincidentally, the governor was talking about electric costs and utility costs today. So this is the information packet, so we can start looking at this after the budget process.
Thank you, Vice President. Good information. Councilwoman, yes.
Is this something that
you're looking for the city to look into after our net metering aggregate? Like, is that agreement is in place right now?
So,
That
yes,
dip-
the net metering is for the benefit of the town, the
Right.
city. This is an agreement for the benefit of the individual homeowners.
Yes.
So it has nothing to do, one has nothing to do with the other.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to make sure. And so couldn't a resident on their own do this?
No, it has to be done by it has to be done by the city or town. It is in,
Either an opt-in or opt-out.
Yeah.
So generally, I think Providence does it. I know we had a presentation in Tiverton. So if it is a long process, but
yeah.
maybe what you need to do if the town, most cities and towns say is that everyone is in it unless they opt out.
Yep.
And then there's there's not a cost to opt out, but there's just, you can opt out and there is a little bit of savings or some in some cases, substantial savings, but it
the
is a
consumer.
process. Huh? It's
It's
for the
for-
consumer, not for the city.
Right, not for the city, but the city would be overseeing.
No, not really. It's just, we just entered into the agreement. We'll get into that. I can get into more details, but it's,
Okay.
but there are many communities that have adopted it. Providence is one of them, and they're an opt out. So everyone, if you own a piece of property in Providence as a resident, you're into this program. You get a notice in the mail if you want to opt out of it. But most people opt in because there is a little bit of savings on their electric.
It originally started like Narragansett and a couple of the southern communities where it was an opt-in.
Yeah.
And Providence went the reverse and everything.
You can do it either way.
Yeah, more and more, as you said, Tiverton. I don't know where they are in the process.
We did not go forward with it just because we had other issues going on, but there's still something being interested in. Yeah.
Okay.
We did have a presentation, and once we get through the budget, we can certainly start looking at that. I think that would be helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a very interesting program. I don't understand all the ins and outs of it either. So
Number 3, fire and building inspections from the August 12th meeting. Council Vice President Rego.
I just received I received notification from the chief of staff. The fire department is still working on their report to this. I hope that I really hope that by the next meeting that they can get it done. I mean, this is I'm not trying to be a nitpicker, but it's for the protection of the citizens as well as the city. Because, I'm trying to protect the city from, God forbid, what happened in Fall River never happens here, or a station fire scenario never happens here. But as one of the 5 keepers of protecting the city's investments, I think it's something that we need to have happen. And I would hope, he's probably watching it right now, but I would hope Chief Carey understands the importance of this, that we get this project up and running. And I thank you for your updated information on this.
Number 4, National Grid paving process. Council Vice President Rego.
And it should be, I'm so used to calling them National Grid, Rhode Island Energy, but it's frustrating. I've talked to Councilman Lawson about it and Councilman Fogarty in the past about this. They go in, they tear up the road. They're supposed to go from curb to curb, and they're not doing curb to curb. They're still doing their traditional patchwork. And I've talked to Dan about it, and Dan calls them and they say, well, we're not finished yet. And we're getting a runaround by them. Complete runaround. And Dan's getting it. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, I had to get the Senate president involved in a situation where they left a mess somewhere. Dan was trying calling, and finally President Lawson got it resolved where they came in and fixed they had one of those orange and white cones over a property forever, and the property owner was getting frustrated. And I mean, it's a business owner. So, I mean, we had the gentleman who a year ago who says he lives in East Providence come in front of us, and they're not living up to their end of the bargain. And every month, everybody opens up their electric bill or gas bill, and the delivery fee keeps on going up and up. So I am this is more for the people watching it and the citizens. I mean, who's not that we have a really concerned. I don't know at some point, Mr. President, if we want to draft a letter and send it to Rhode Island Energy. It probably won't go anywhere, but I just want everybody to know, I think the five of us share the same concern about the frustration that we're living with in our wards from Rhode Island Energy.
Well, and a little bit off the topic, but still with the same company, Rhode Island Energy. Now, there's a lot in the news recently that rates, there was some agreement, I don't understand it totally, but rates are going to come down a bit. But the caveat was, but they're going to get it back. The agreement was they can get it back in 3 or 4 years. So what's the point? The Public Utilities Commission has to really take a stand.
An election year.
Yeah,
You're gonna see a lot
if that's
more
the case, then don't lower the rate. Keep it the way it is. Don't take a few cents off a kilowatt and then in 4 years' time get it all back in one lump sum. That doesn't make any sense. So, Public Utilities Commission has to come down a little bit on these energy companies. This whole delivery fee that you talk about, Council Vice President, people can't understand it, the whole delivery. But anyway, yeah, maybe we can have an audience again with this gentleman or go before the PUC itself and try to get some answers.
Andy, can you email us each a copy of the ordinance that states that they have to go curb to curb, just so we can refresh? And this happened, I know Bobby Brito was on the, was it last council or the one before that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's always their answer, that the patches are temporary. They'll come back and do the
Yeah,
curb
like
to
6
curb
months
one.
later, if that.
Right. And it's not happening.
Yeah, if we can get a copy of that ordinance that states.
However, people are happy now. Willard Avenue coming north, they finally
Yeah, it's a
did.
state road, that's what their job is.
Right, but I mean, it's Rhode Island Energy as well is involved, so they're getting to it. I don't know. It's not fun. Next item, please.
Number 5, code in place recycling street paving project update. Councilwoman Souza.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chief of Staff, for sending me an update this evening. As shown on social media, there was a video that showed Summit Street being repaved in a cold in place recycling method, which is the first time the city has used that technique with the asphalt company on the street. It is not completely done. It was just the first process. So basically, while they're milling the street in real time, they're adding binder and then re-asphalting the road so that it can be used quickly and then come back and finish the work. So follow-up questions that I have, Madam Chief of Staff, is one, what is the cost difference from what was initially being done, the initial process, so the milling and then coming back and laying the layers versus using the cold play? So there should be, in my mind, some type of savings associated with that. And are there any other streets in the city that they're thinking about using this technique? And who's making that decision? Is it the administration, like the engineering department, or is something that the vendor is saying, hey, this is something new that we want to try, and we would like to pilot it on one of your streets and see how it works? I'm just and thank you for providing me with a video. I'm going to look at that after the meeting. I'm interested in researching what the durability of that method is versus the traditional layers that are normally done. Right.
Thank you. Next item.
Number 6, update on solar project at police station. Councilwoman Souza.
Thank you. Again, thank you for responding this evening with the update. So just to let the fellow council members and public know, the company or partner that we had were working with to have the solar canopy done over the covering slash garage at the police station. Unfortunately, they had sold their project. And then, of course, with all of the unknowns with tariffs and the language in the Big Beautiful Bill, it's not something that they're going to be able to continue doing. So I don't know, Mike, if you know what that involves in terms of a breach of contract, or if there's something. I'm assuming, and I think I've mentioned this before, that the city, when going into contracts and agreements, have to have some language in place that protects the city for projects not being done on time, as you know, indicated in their RFPs, or if they back out of a project that we were anticipating, because now this, even though we do continue to have the 3 other entities, this is something that the city was looking for as a cost savings to the city, along with, we were planning on having that canopy to protect the vehicles at the police station from the weather. And now that's been put on hold too. And my understanding is that we're going back and looking for someone to do that piece of the project that now has been delayed.
So the company was still in their due diligence phase during this. So there was no official contract because they still had the ability to not agree to do the contract. But we had, as I told you before, last meeting, there was a bunch of title issues that we had to do, environmental issues. So there was no official contract. They were just exploring. They had the agreement was to allow them a certain days to do their due diligence. We did extend that many times because of the fact we ran into some issues. But in talking to Christian Capizio, who handles all our solar stuff for the city, he suggested that we just pretty much, it's not dead. We can go out to find another company. This company just wasn't able to do it for the reasons they stated in that email. So that's where we are. So there's really no breach of contract because they just pulled out in the time and the due diligence. And it's unfortunate the Big Beautiful Bill turned out to be not so big and beautiful for solar or alternate energy, as you know. So
Next item.
Public hearings, ordinance for second and final passage for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, an ordinance increasing the annual salary of the city council pursuant to section 2-3 of Article 2 of the city charter. Annual salary of each city council member shall increase to $9,000, and the council president shall also be entitled to an additional payment of $1,000 above the salary as set forth in section 1 of this ordinance, effective January 1st, 2027, introduced by Councilman Fogarty.
In for second passage, discussion, and/or is there a motion?
Motion
Right, but
to
we'll
approve
the
to get
motion
it
on the
started.
Floor first, right?
Yep. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, second by Councilman Fogarty. Before we open it up to public discussion, council discussion this time.
Nope, this was advertised. There's not one person here from the public. I'm sorry. Yeah, so
There are a couple, but
this is, like I said before, you get what you pay for. And this week alone, I've had emails calling me a racist asshole, and I put in time to aggregate data, and there's a lot that we do that if you want quality people to represent the city of East Providence, you got to give them a little bit of an incentive. Same that goes with the mayor. If you want to attract quality people, you got to make it an attractive job. So I do support this. And again, members of the public, there's nobody here.
well, it's a public hearing. There is a couple people out here. Anyone want to comment on this? I'll ask a couple times. Is there anyone here that would like to comment on this specifically? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll of the council?
Councilman Fogarty,
Aye.
Councilman Lawson,
Aye.
Council Vice President Rigo,
Aye.
Councilwoman Souza.
Before I take a vote, I just have to make a comment. So while I agree with the council that the work of the council does deserve more, and we are an underpaid body across the city, across the state. So a lot of other councils make even double of what is being proposed here today. My only concern, not concern, but my comment is that we're talking about budget and how we don't know what the budget's going to be like. We're going ahead and having some difficulties in the years to come paying bills, and we might look at this as being, well, it's only 6,000 more or 5,000 more per council member, and then the mayor's jumping up 30,000. What about the positions that the council has funded in budgets for hiring staff in different departments that aren't being filled because it costs too much, right? That's what I've heard, is that, when you add people to the payroll, now you have Mars, you have insurances, you have, all kinds of things that add to year-on-year finances, but we need them. So we need people in dispatch to take the 911 calls and the emergency calls because the number that's there is not enough. We have Parks Department and Highway Department who have a lot of work in general to do to take care and maintain the city the way that we all would like it. And now we have more parks, bigger parks. We have parks that are under construction, that a lot of work is being done by the men and women in our parks. So and they're not fully staffed to where I think they should be, or if you speak to them, maybe where they think they should be because of the amount of work that's involved in maintaining all of these city parks and buildings. But we're not hiring those positions. We're not putting money into investing in that into the city, but it's okay. And again, not saying that it's not deserved. I just want to make a point that if we can add money to elected bodies, then we should be making sure as an administration and as a city that the people who are actually working to support the residents in the city and the parks in the city, that those positions are being hired and not just right before we go into budget. So it looks like we need those FTEs for the next fiscal year, but they haven't been filled the whole previous fiscal year because we're trying to save money. I just think it's a backwards way of spending on salaries.
Okay, what is your
To
vote?
add to that, we don't receive benefits. And the mayor's salary's already got the benefits built in. We have allotment accounts about to be developed, so that's going to increase the tax base. We got the waterfront. So there's a lot that's going to start increasing the tax base.
Well, that's what I hear, but
This is not going to destroy the budget. We don't get benefits. So you're only bumping up, what, 3, 6, whatever the number.
previous councils had this council,
Previous did.
we don't have benefits because we choose not to have benefits.
We shouldn't have. We're elected officials. We should not be receiving.
Right, and that's an opinion, right, of the body. So the body chooses what they want to do, just like they're choosing to increase the salary, which I'm not saying is not justified. My point is, we have men and women in this city in departments that should be supported more, not by increasing their salary, which is obligational through contract. We're already supporting them, but we need more hands on deck in the city.
You're preaching to the choir.
So when
1,000%.
we're not doing it,
Just hold on, just for,
Two separate subjects.
yeah, future reference, because we're kind of out of order. I see the solicitor looking at me. Once I close, and I mean, I'll do this more succinctly in the future, but once I close council discussion and public discussion, we need to just vote. The discussion comes up when I have an open discussion.
well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind for future votes.
Thank you.
Nay.
So that's a nay. So that's, motion carries 4-1.
Did you vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, 4-1. Roger Williams? No.
President
Next,
Rodrick.
yes, I said aye. So it's 4 an approval, and Councilwoman Souza is a nay. So it's 4-1. Next item.
Number 2, an ordinance establishing the annual salary of the mayor. The annual salary of the mayor shall be $120,000. The mayor is entitled to all other auxiliary benefits of employment enjoyed by department heads, effective January 1st, 2027, introduced by Councilman Fogarty.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman
Second.
Fogarty, seconded by Councilman Lawson. Council discussion on the motion. Councilwoman,
Nope.
I'm sorry, I saw you hit the light, my fault.
I'm ready for the vote.
Any other discussion from the council? Hearing none, I'll close the council discussion, open it up to public discussion. Any comments from the public on the motion? Anyone from the public wishing to speak on the motion? Hearing none, I close the public hearing. We have the motion in second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll of the council.
Councilman Fogarty,
Aye.
Councilman Lawson,
Aye.
Council Vice President Rigo,
Aye.
Councilwoman Souza,
Nay.
Council President Rodrick.
Aye. Motion carries 4-1. Next item.
Number 3, ordinance of the council of the city of East Providence appropriating $115,824.50 for improvements at Vintner.
Vintner. Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to table this. The equipment the administration showed, the folks, they want the slides. They want the stuff that people can climb, slide down. They had showed me that it's like the Ninja Warrior, whatever. So I haven't heard back if they honored that request of the neighborhood to put, like we have in the other playgrounds. So I'd like to table that until we know exactly what piece of
Motion to table by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilwoman Souza and Councilman Fogarty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0. And Chief of Staff, just ask the appropriate department if it's DPW or Parks to just give us a specific listing so we can vote on this for the next meeting of what the equipment is, the playground equipment.
And we have them in like Providence Ave has them. It's the kind of kids can climb up. It's almost like a little fort up top,
Slides,
and then they
yeah.
could slide down.
I can resend that, Council President, but it was sent when it was inquired about. But I can resend it.
Okay, next item.
New business, Mayor Communications, Chief of Staff Patricia Rezende.
Motion to approve.
There's, what are we approving? I didn't,
Communication.
all of it?
Accept.
Motion to accept by Councilwoman Souza. Second?
Just, right.
Yep. There's second.
Okay, do you want to read? We got breast cancer awareness,
They're
national
important that
veterans.
yeah, I think they're really important that that people.
That's why I asked, what do we want to read the,
Well, the city
The
clerk
headings,
usually
we don't-
reads all of it before we do anything. If we keep it consistent, because I know sometimes this council kind of runs and jumps and goes quickly during.
well, no, I under my,
It's very inconsistent.
well,
The
I
council
take
doesn't run very
umbrage at
consistent.
that. I'm
You
not
should.
being
The council
incons.
president.
All right, I'll
So-
let you finish, then I'll speak.
No,
You're done?
we should read, we
always do, and I've asked
No.
the chief of staff to read the headings without going.
If is the proclamation in my packet, I'll read it.
Let's just move forward with, Madam, you go ahead.
Chief, please go forward.
So number 3 is all set, because I think we've already addressed that.
Correct. And you have the finance and capital reports in your packet. Breast cancer, well,
We've been doing consistency.
Yeah, of course.
read
I
the
just read my title.
All right, the chief has the
So it
floor,
hasn't been
please.
consistent.
I'm sorry, go ahead, chief.
Okay, we have the breast cancer, 2025 Breast Cancer Awareness Month. According to, I can read the titles, Council President.
Just the titles, please.
So we have the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have the 2025 National Veterans Small Business Week. As many of you know, we have the 2025 Dyslexia Awareness Month, and what we normally do is we do Red Ribbon Week with one of our local residents, Tori Jessup. And then we have one more. Will?
Red Ribbon Week.
That was Red Ribbon, well, it was part of Red Ribbon Week, which was dyslexia awareness. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I was connecting the two. And then we have Red Ribbon Week, which is for alcohol and drug abuse affected and how it affects individuals.
Thank you. So the motion was made and I think seconded to just accept. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0. Next item.
Number 4, submission of the mayor's proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 municipal budget. Receipt and acknowledgement of administration's proposed fiscal year 26 budget and set date for public hearing in accordance with section 5-11-1 for Wednesday, September 2024 at the City Council Chambers in East Providence City Hall.
So this is just to accept. We're not going into the
I
budget.
didn't receive anything.
We don't have it.
What do we got to?
Well, we're about to, I would assume.
Oh.
Chief of Staff?
Council President, members of the council, as you're aware, per our charter, the budget has to be submitted by September 16th, and that is still the process. So you will, as we have done in previous years, you will receive an email correspondence from our office, as well as the link to the digital budget with printed copies to follow in preparation for the budget workshops.
So today's the 16th. We're going to get it by midnight tonight?
As you always do, sir.
And we couldn't get it beforehand.
I just walked off a plane about 3 hours ago. You will have it.
Well, it could have been someone else that could have sent it.
That's correct. But as you know, I usually go through it and I want to make sure that everything that comes to you is accurate and up to date, and you will have it per charter rules. Thank you.
So the most important thing we're doing tonight is setting the public hearing for, well, we need to set the date because it needs to be advertised.
It has to be
And
advertised.
just to make the council aware, we just recently received the school department budget. There was other information that came to us late in the process. So we just want to make sure what we have ready for you. And it's ready. We're going through and doing our due diligence so you have everything. We start this process in May and we work very hard, Councilman. So it's no other reason other than reviewing and going through line by line and making sure all the click-throughs work properly.
Thank you, Patricia.
You're welcome. And you'll have the printed version, Councilwoman. I know that that's a request of you, so we've been printing those as well for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I just ask for inquiry purposes on Wednesday, September 24th, what time? Is it going to be the regular council
6:30.
meeting time?
It's been advertised for 6:30 as we've done
Okay.
in the past. We just follow what we've done in the past.
And what's the deadline for advertising to have?
Today,
It would be today. So if we don't advertise, if we don't move forward.
And again, I'm not involved in the budget process, but this is really just a formality. You're going to
Yeah,
get you're getting
right.
the budget. It's just acknowledging you're going to get it on this day. I understand why you'd be upset not getting it at the meeting, but you'll get it by the end of by 12 o'clock today, as indicated. You really, then once that date is set.
For 11:59.
Yeah.
At midnight, it would be late.
True, it's true. So,
Oh.
and then the advertisement needs to go in because of deadlines, and then I'll
No, I
then just so you know, council members of the council, from tonight until 9/24, you can have as many public hearings on the budget as you want. We gave you a sample calendar that we're gonna.
It's not
as long as
limited.
with 48 hours notice, we can schedule any type of budget hearings. On 9/24, that's a public hearing on the mayor's budget. So public can comment on the mayor's budget. After that date, then you are officially allowed per the charter to make changes to that budget, particularly additions to the budget or subtractions, but additions are specifically called out. And then after that date, so that's why the importance of the 9/24. But between now and 9/24, and then after 9/24, you can have as many hearings as you want, as long as we give the clerk 48 hours notice and they're posted.
So I'll agree with Councilman Lawson that, I mean, it's awkward to not have it now. And if it comes before midnight, I'm not reading it tonight. The point also is we don't have to read it today. This is just a perfunctory.
So the 24th will be
Thing.
our next meeting on this.
You could have meetings in between then if you want to.
Today's the 15th, and we're going to need time to read through this, so
Yeah, the 24th.
I'll be here the
It's
24th.
9 days. So
Right.
I'll be here the 24th.
Right. So I think legally we just need to
The 24th.
say the 24th and
Well,
then
we have,
approve
again,
this.
we've been over this, and I don't, know if this is how you do it, but this budget calendar that we submitted to you with the clerks. the next
We
me-
approved it.
No,
already.
well, we have
Calendar.
dates. So the next
Dates.
meeting that we have scheduled actually on a public workshop is 9/18. So you can bring in someone on
We'll have to have a
9/18.
workship. We don't even have the budget in our hand.
We'll have the budget
in 2
tonight.
days.
You'll have the budget tonight. You don't have to do it. I'm just letting you your options.
Okay. And that's what I just said, the
Right, so it's-
24th.
But I want, the clerk needs to know if you plan on having a budget workshop on 9/18, because we have to post that meeting. If you're going to wait till the 24th, then you just wasted, or not wasted, but you didn't have the 9 days between now and the 18th, then that you'll never get that time back. So
It gives us time to go through the budget.
I understand that, but you could decide on 9/18, you want the school department to come in and give their budget, or you want the police department. You can look at one area of the budget. You don't have to look at the entire thing.
We got full-time jobs, Mike.
I understand.
You want us to come back in a day and a half, basically, and start this process. It's just not realistic. It's
Okay, that's-
unfair to the taxpayers.
That's fine. So between now and the 24th, you can have as many meetings as you need with 48 hours notice. And then after 2024, you can have as many meetings as you want between then and 10/14, which is the last date that you can actually make changes to the budget, because your changes have to be advertised as well. So I'll have the clerk give you guys this, give the council members this again. But those are the dates. So we just need to know when you want to schedule those hearings. We gave you some sample dates, but you can meet as much as you want or as less as you want. It's up to you.
Yes,
So,
Councilman.
Mr. President, so next Wednesday, and this question for the solicitor, can we stop bringing department heads on that date? I know where.
Yeah,
it's the
after-
budget at the 24th. I mean, on the 24th, we can bring people in next
Mhm.
Wednesday.
Yes, after the public hearing is concluded, yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
So, I think we should line some people up for the 24th. I mean,
I haven't read.
No, I'm talking.
No idea.
No, I'm saying departments
agree.
by that time. I'm not. I'm saying on the 24th. So we're not rushing it at the end where we 2 years ago.
The administration.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We'll pick a couple for next.
So, yeah, relying upon the council president
Yeah.
to contact me and the clerk, determine what departments you want.
But yeah, I think
Correct, because we had said we wouldn't bring in
We don't need that.
canvas every little.
And the law department doesn't have to come before you, I don't think. That's not necessary. No. I'm only kidding.
Council President,
Yes,
if I may.
sure.
So in the past, as you know, over the years, the council has decided to do different things during the workshops. You've decided to, come together with a list of certain departments to have them here. Other years, have all the departments ready. We will be ready to have everyone here, and we appreciate the consideration of not, wasting department heads' time. However, I just want to remind the council that in the past, you've finished earlier with certain departments and then wanted to go down the list and they weren't here. So we're happy to have department heads here present for each workshop, just in case you finish early or later or whatnot. But I just wanted to remind you of that because that's happened in the past.
Sure, but the only thing that threw us a curveball tonight is in the past, we usually get the physical budget. We don't look through it that same night, but it's accepted and
It's ready. I went through
Yeah,
it.
no, I
I
understand,
wanted to
but we
tweak
didn't
one
have-
thing before we
Yep.
handed it over.
So, Mr. Solicitor, what are we voting for now? The hearing date is the
Public hearing
important.
on 9/24, correct.
So that's basically the vote. Set the hearing on 9/24.
Motion to
Technically, technically, the mayor could have just submitted the budget to the clerk as your
Sure,
clerk.
exactly. So motion by Councilwoman Souza to set the date by September 24th at September 24th. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Lawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It'll be September 24th, and we'll work on the department heads to come in. Next item.
number 3.
Number 3.
I don't think we did number 3 on the resolutions.
That's 1,000. Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah.
I'm looking. What's my? Sorry.
Page 6.
You're welcome.
Number 3, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with J.R. and Sons Construction, Inc. for basketball court improvements at Providence Avenue Park, introduced by Council President Rodrick.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Souza to
Not
approve.
sure why I wasn't asked to sponsor, but I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Lawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that.
Now executive session.
Yep, there are no
Want
other.
it in private mic or out here? Okay.
So at this time, is there a motion under
I'll
state?
make a
law?
motion, I gotta read the
Yes.
numbers.
Go to the beginning of the agenda and. so-
Pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5, I make a motion, we move into executive session.
Yes, A and 2, the second,
Second.
Councilman Lawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we will recess into executive session.
We want to tell the people watching there's nothing left when we get back, so they're not.
Yeah, this
sitting
is
here
the
thinking-
only item. It's Exxon Mobil Oil Corporation, just discussing an amendment to the settlement. Goes back December 31st, 2020.
So if you're watching, there's not going to be anything when we come back, just
No.
adjournment.
We're in
Unless
recess.
they want to hear what Mike says.
Motion to return to public session and seal the minutes of the executive session. Motion
Second
by
that a motion.
Councilman Fogarty, seconded by Councilman Lawson. Mr. Solicitor, you have to report out the
Yes, so
vote.
in executive session, the council took a vote to modify a settlement agreement that was entered into with ExxonMobil previously
need more?
on 12/31/2020. The amendment was basically a readjustment of some of the payment schedule and the actual monies that were being sent. And so it was approved unanimously by the council, authorizing the entry into that settlement agreement, and we'll put that on file. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, so noted. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Again.
Motion, Council Vice President Regal, seconded by Councilman Lawson and Councilman Fogarty. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.